begin this haircut, I'm going in with my 3.5 blade on my Andis ZR2s, and I'm just going around and I'm just gonna create my base for the haircut. My base is pretty much that one level that I'm gonna go all around and what I'm gonna begin to fade into. And if you notice the point that I'm stopping at, that area is called the parietal ridge. And the reason why I'm not going all the way up into the top of his head is because I'm going to blend the short part that I'm working on right now up into the top, and the parietal ridge is basically that middle section where I would begin to blend. So right now I have my number 4 guard on and I'm starting open, and I am just gonna go along the parietal ridge and blend. So now I got my number 4 guard on and I'm starting with the lever open, and I'm really just debulking what's here. Not trying to perfectly blend it out right now, just deblending. And this is with my number 4 guard closed. Now I got my number 2 guard on, and I got it all the way open, and this should pretty much start to actually blend from the sides to the top. I'm starting with my gray Andis T outliners, and I am creating my first guideline for the taper. I'm just going to be tapering the sides and the back. So now I got my clipper closed, and I'm going up about 1/4 of an inch, trying to make sure everything is consistent. And now I just opened it halfway, and I'm going another 1/4 of an inch up, pretty much where the ear meets with the head. Now I got it all the way open, and I'm going up another 1/4 of an inch up. And I'm kind of doing like a rainbow-like shape. I feel like when I do the rainbow shape, when I'm doing the taper just comes out better. Now I got my number 1 guard on, and I'm starting with the lever open. And as you can see, it's starting to blend into that number 2 that I had on the sides. Now to get that little bit out that I had left, I got my half guard on, and I went open. Now I just went halfway, and then now I'm gonna go closed. Open halfway closed, or closed halfway open, is normally my technique when it comes to fading. Now I got my trimmers, and I'm just creating an outline after I made my taper. And when I line it up a little bit, I'm able to spot any dark spots or imperfections easier, because now the haircut is framed out. Right now I got my number 1 guard on again, going back with it open, and I'm just playing with the lever. Now I'm just gonna let you guys watch as I do the same exact thing on the other side. To start off this neck taper, I'm going in with my trimmers and I'm putting in a soft line, which is why I'm putting in this line with the direction that I'm going in right now. I don't have it flipped around as if I'm giving a lineup, because doing it the other way around just puts it in softer. And now I'm clearing that little bit that I cut off. Now I got no guard on, and I'm starting with the lever open, and I'm going about an inch high. And I'm just trying to make sure that this first guideline is looking nice and even and symmetrical on both sides. Now I got my clipper halfway with no guard, and I'm going right underneath where I left off with the clipper all the way open. Now I got my clipper closed, and I'm just taking out that faint line that I had all the way at the bottom. Now I got my half guard on, and I'm starting with the lever all the way open, and I'm going about an inch again for my next guideline. You always want to make sure that the guidelines that you set are even and are the same width on both sides all throughout, because that is what will give you a more consistent fade. Now I got my clipper lever halfway, and I'm going underneath where I just went with the half guard lever open. Now I got my clipper all the way closed, and I'm taking out that last little bit. Now I got my number 1 guard all the way open, and this should tie the rest of the haircut together. And I'm going up about, I'd say, a half an inch. And this is where it's gonna start to transition into being the darker part of the fade. I got my trimmers, and I'm just hitting the neckline and just framing everything together. You always want to adjust the ear when you're working around the ear, because that is what will help you see the line that's behind the ear. Don't be afraid to move the client's head around or their ear around. They're coming to you for a service, and for you to give them the best service, you should make sure that you're able to do that. So if that means moving his ear or head, then definitely do that. As I'm going around his ear, I have my knuckles on his neck, and I am using that as a brace to create that line. So right now I got my number 5 guard, and I'm just gonna use this guard all around the top. I'm making sure I'm going in every direction around the crown, just to make sure I have an even cut all around. And I'm going with the grain, starting with it open. He is a little bit thin in the front, so I ride off in the front just to make sure I'm not taking off too much hair. So yeah, I'm moving his head and moving it where I need it to be, because say his head was turned the other way and I have to reach over the chair and contort my body in all these ways, now I am making this service less efficient, and I'm hurting myself in the process, because me doing that all day, my body is not gonna thank me for that. Got my number 5 back in my hand, and I'm just taking my time in the front, making sure I'm taking off exactly what I need to take off. Now I'm doing some clipper over comb to tie everything together. I saw some parts where the fade could be blended into the top a little bit more, so this technique is perfect for just that. Now I'm just gonna let you guys watch and enjoy the clipper over comb. I even do a little bit in the front. I am gonna end up lining him up in the front. So the more I taper the front down, the better the lines will pop out when I put them in. You always want to make sure you're not taking off too much at once. So now I got my trimmers back in my hand and I'm working on that front lineup. Starting in the middle, and I'm working my way over to the left side, and I'm just taking my time with it. So now I got my trimmer again, and I'm working my way over to the right side. I like to go in and create a natural line first. I'm not really focused on making it perfectly straight yet, but I'm just keeping it natural, and then we'll take a look at the line together, and I'll adjust it where it needs to be adjusted. Now I'm just hitting it with my straight razor, making sure I'm getting any little hairs that are in front of that line, just to make it pop out even more and last a few days longer. Going back in with some scissor over combs just to refine everything and make sure that it is looking smooth and even. Just to remind you, this is how my client came into the shop, and this is how it looks after. If you enjoyed this video, let me know what other haircuts you want to see. I have more weekly content coming, so I appreciate your support, and stay tuned for the journey. Peace.